And we do have some breaking news coming in right now. Emergency crews on the scene of a massive 4-alarm fire at GE Appliance Park. You can see from the video here from WAVE, flames and thick black smoke pouring in. This is up in Louisville, Kentucky right now. And you see that's part of the roof right there. No word if weather may have been a factor there. There was heavy lightning in the area earlier this morning. Again, up in Louisville, a huge fire, and a live picture right there as crews are dealing with that huge blaze. We'll keep you updated on that. Amy?
We'll continue to follow that. Also following breaking news downtown where someone fired a gun at a police officer early this morning. Let's check in with Matthew Torres. He's live at the CJC where that suspect is behind bars now. And Matthew, first things first, this officer, he was or wasn't hit?
The officer was not hit and will be fine this morning, but certainly shaken up knowing that there was someone who pointed a gun at him and shot allegedly at him. Now that bullet actually ricocheted off of the police car and went right into a tree across the street. And really it's the quick thinking from that officer getting back into his car in order to avoid getting hit by that bullet. Now take a look at the mugshot. The suspect is 33-year-old Matthew Johnson, now charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and unlawful possession of a handgun under the influence. Now, this all started around 1 o'clock this morning at Legends Corner on Lower Broad. Police said they responded to a call about a man with a weapon. An officer eventually spotted Johnson, who was walking several blocks down from the bar just outside the LNC Tower. Now, really, before he can do anything, he cleared the intersection, fearing that Johnson would shoot. And lo and behold, Johnson allegedly took out the gun and fired a shot right at the officer.
The officer cleared the intersection because he feared he was going to shoot. One shot was fired. That shot hit a traffic box on the other side, ricocheted and hit a tree.
And Metro Police say that officer never fired a shot back at Johnson. Again, he is now in jail this morning, being held on a $125,000 bond. We are reporting live at the Criminal Justice Center. Matthew Torres, News Channel 5 HD.
All right, Matthew, thank you. And happening right now, a man who hit a Metro police officer is still on the run this morning. Now, this happened yesterday in Madison along East Old Hickory Boulevard and 4th Avenue. Officer Edward Draves was arresting a domestic assault suspect when the suspect ran away. So Officer Draves starts running after him. Well, someone in a gold car hit the officer and then kept on going. Despite that injury, though, Officer Draves was able to chase that first initial suspect on foot and caught him. Police are still looking for the driver of the car, though, that was involved in this. Maybe a gold Nissan Altima. Call 74-CRIME if you can help investigators. He has not been released from the hospital yet, but felony warrants are out for the man who opened fire on Metro Police. Matthew McCurvey faces 3 counts of aggravated assault, conspiracy to distribute drugs, and several other charges. He's the suspected drug runner who shot at cops on Hawkins Street and then was shot in the arm by officers. Police say he's responsible for selling meth and heroin here in Nashville. 2 other people were also arrested in connection with that case. They're accused of helping McCurvey distribute meth in Nashville.
A sad update for you this morning concerning a toddler shot inside his apartment. 2-year-old Kendall Pinkerton has died from his injuries. He was shot Tuesday afternoon at this apartment complex in Rio Vista Drive in Madison. Youth Services continues to investigate details of the shooting. We're told the possibility that a child fired the gun has not been ruled out.
New this morning, a man was injured in an apartment fire in Murfreesboro last night. He had to be taken to the hospital after there was a fire in his apartment. Fire crews say the man had been smoking in bed and fell asleep. He went to the hospital for smoke inhalation and burns to his head and face. No one was hurt. There was a cat in the apartment that did not make it out. A wanted fugitive is finally off the streets this morning. Police have been looking for Kevon Swinger since last summer. He was wanted on felony drug and weapons charges, and also for shooting into a car that had a father and 10-year-old daughter inside. Officers arrested Swinger after finding him hiding in the back of a van driven by his sister Kevonda and a cousin. They're now facing accessory after the fact charges.
New this morning, this man is behind bars after driving erratically and fleeing from police, all with a small child inside his vehicle. Police say on Wednesday, Cedric Bryant sped into oncoming traffic as Metro Police tried to serve him with an outstanding warrant during a traffic stop. And because of his reckless driving and a child being in the car, officers didn't pursue him. although he was taken into custody this morning on new charges. Things are returning back to normal this morning at Independence High School. A fellow student was arrested yesterday for allegedly leaving a kill list inside a bathroom. That list apparently included students and even the school's principal. We're told the student confessed to the crime and now faces several charges. Authorities are not releasing the student's name. And a former teacher is behind bars this morning, accused of soliciting a minor. According to WGNS Radio, James Sanders worked at Cascade High School as a math teacher. Police say he texted inappropriate messages of a sexual nature to a 17-year-old girl in one of his classes. He's been charged with solicitation of a minor.
In Franklin, a driver who ran into a ditch was charged with his third DUI. Police say Jesse Covington crashed at Carter's Creek Road and West Main Street on Wednesday. The car in the ditch, and police determined he was impaired. He was arrested. He's in jail on a $5,000 bond. A call for tougher penalties for drunk drivers here in Tennessee now. New legislation proposed by Senator Doug Overby would give no chance of parole to people convicted of vehicular homicide while intoxicated. A recent report showed Tennessee has among the nation's toughest drunk driving laws for first offenders, but we're the most lenient for DUI-related vehicular homicide. That bill now goes to the Senate Finance Committee. Well, if you thought the efforts to save Nashville's historic Music Row had died, no, they have not. A public meeting last night outlined steps to protect the area. Right now, developers are moving in all over the place. In fact, right now, you'll remember RCA Studio was nearly demolished, and just this past week, 4 historic homes were torn down, making room for a new apartment building. And now the Music Industry Coalition is working with the Nashville Trust for Historic Preservation to try to restore a piece of that history. The group will put together their findings, hoping to get help from the city to protect that area.
Hey, and over in East Nashville, a real estate agent is apologizing for an ad that some found offensive, but others called clever. Earlier this week, Armstrong Real Estate sent out a postcard calling East Nashville, quote, more neighbor than hood. Almost instantly, the company's Facebook page lit up with complaints calling the ad offensive, racist, and classless. When you go around East Nashville, you will see plenty of lighthearted references to it being over the river and through the hood. But East Nashville's definitely changing, and some people may not be embracing the term anymore.
I feel really embarrassed, and I feel awful that I have offended so many people in the neighborhood and the community, because that wasn't what we set out to do.
Several people we spoke to yesterday thought the ad was clever, though, and still lovingly refer to their side of town as the hood. Armstrong says he spent the day yesterday calling and emailing everyone back who felt offended or had a complaint.